That's fine.
Right now, everything just gets added at the end of the school.
That's fine. That's really what I wanted to know.
And the other question was built-in days. Really, building in days is not advantageous. Everybody thinks
I know.
it, but it really is a disadvantage when you think about it, because a lot of times you'll build in a day like December 14th, hypothetically.
Right.
And then you have no bad weather, but the kids get off December 14th, and then you get a heck of a snowstorm on in January 16th, and you've wasted a day of education. So that day has to get added on then at the end of the school year, where they could have gone in December.
Right.
So it really,
Yeah.
building in snow days is not really advantageous.
Yeah. I just remember growing
And
up
it
in
pushes
Jersey,
the
we always
school year-
built in
Oh,
snow
yeah, we
days.
did.
We had like 4 or 5 snow days built in because we were little lightweights out there.
Oh, they didn't do that in Atlanta.
Well, if it snows in Atlanta, then like the entire city should.
I know, it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Like this would shut Atlanta down for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, when you build in, let's say you build in four snow days, you automatically move the end of your school year 4 days later.
Yeah.
Well, and especially with Branstad's new law about starting, you can't start any sooner than the end of the state fair or whatever, like it puts you between a rock and a hard place.
That is a national treasure. Don't impede on the safety.
There's plenty of time for everything. It's fine.
So that's it. Do you guys have any questions for me?
I don't think so.
No.
No, but if you want to talk to Jonna Sampson, I have something planned fun in 1D on Friday afternoon if you guys want
I
to stop
believe I got an
by.
email about it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sydney has no idea. I don't know how she's going to react. I'm sending her a singing Valentine from Lincoln High School as part of their vocal fundraisers. So, yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's-
All right,
Okay, I
you gotta
agree with the
run.
teacher, dude,
Yeah.
if that's
Yep.
okay.
yeah, go for it.
Bye. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank
Stay
you.
warm.
You too.
Stay warm.
Barb, do you have anything for teachers?
Yeah, we hosted the Leader in Me symposium.
I need to take your,
You didn't even share
Your
the
excitement.
big
I knew
stuff.
you were gonna share.
I'll share the big stuff.
that's right.
So the
okay.
Leader in
I
Me
don't think so.
symposium was here for their regional conference this week downtown. And we hosted tours here at our school Tuesday, so we had about 95 guests. And those included state educators, administrators from Iowa, but also surrounding states like Minnesota. We have someone from Missouri here, Nebraska. So educators within the Midwest that came. And then yesterday we had 95 guests here, we took 70. We have about 70 of the 6th graders that are involved in the student-led assemblies. So we took them downtown and they presented, and they did a phenomenal job. We had someone from the district PR department there and wrote an article and took some pictures, so it's on the district website if you're interested in seeing that. But the Franklin Covey people really loved what the students did and how they embraced their leadership, so they invited them to come back next year. And the 6th graders like, but we won't be here next year.
Yeah, thanks.
But you set the precedent for future groups because you did such an outstanding job that they want them to present to kind of be where they had them do their afternoon show. Assembly was in like the main hall that everyone came to lunch at. And so they had presented right before lunch, and then they had lunch, and then a breakout session after lunch. Next year, basically like them to do during the lunch. So all the educators there throughout the state and other states would be there to see them. So it was a pretty big honor for the students to be able to be in those leadership roles. The other thing is Paul and I attended, the district has what they call deep equity training for all the schools. And the purpose of the deep equity work is to try to find equitable practices and celebrate our cultural diversity in all the schools. We were there on Tuesday for our training, and one of the things they asked us to come up with were future action steps for our schools. And we were talking about we have so many different cultures that are represented in our school, all the flags that are hung out in the media center. Every year we look at what are the different racial backgrounds, ethnic backgrounds, cultural backgrounds of our students, what countries were, they may be born in, and then those flags represent those different cultures. But it got us thinking while we were there that maybe a future action step, we love that the PFC supports and does a cultural day every year, but we don't know if the work that's been done with Cultural Day matches up with the actual cultures that we have represented in our school. And we thought going forward, obviously I know there's been a lot of planning already for this year, so we're not saying for this year, but maybe going forward, we would love to kind of begin with the end in mind, think about having staff.
Who we actually have
Yeah.
here
Yeah, who
represented.
we have here and are those cultures being represented, and maybe even it's another way of inviting the families, maybe from those cultures, to come in and to be a part of the education of, whatever.
Do we have a breakdown on like where some of our students are from?
Yeah, we could provide that information, because we know currently, Paul shared the other day with the district staff, he said we have currently like 27 different countries that our student population here are from. From those 27, he said there's 23 or 24 different languages that are spoken outside of the school in their homes. So it's like, that's
awesome.
That's significant.
Yeah.
That's
So
way
when
more
we
than I
shared
thought it
that,
would be.
They had us share that out with the staff, and the district has, like, people that actually work with all of the different student populations and the different cultures. And so that person emailed us afterwards and said, we love that idea, and if your parent group or your staff, if you're working together to do this for next year, please be in contact. And she gave us like the people that could kind of maybe assist us too, and reach out to those families to help.
Would
us.
you still be interested in making it just like a one-day thing, or would you be more interested in it like being something that is like kind of like a theme for the whole year, and like maybe you have little?
I hadn't given that any thought at all, Lauren, but I think we brought it up the other day as what are some future action steps that we could do when we look at, and that was one of the things that we said, gosh, we've been so fortunate that you guys have been so supportive of this and bringing culture to our students, but we're like, wouldn't it make it more, when we say learn with a purpose,
Relevant.
what a purposeful way of learning and making it relevant for our students, especially if it's their culture and they get to teach their peers about their culture and understand a little bit more that we're not just picking and choosing cultures just for the sake of it. We're doing it with a purpose because those cultures are represented within our school. So what it would look like or how that might be, that's something that maybe could yet be determined.
I
Okay.
like that. I'd like to have a little more student involvement too, where the kids can actually research different countries, or maybe, I know like Girl Scouts, for example, and how we did it as a kid, as our school when I was a kid too. But a Girl Scout troop will sponsor one country, and then they get together, and they have all the Girl Scout troops around the Des Moines area come and present their one country, and they walk around like a conference. The girls get to see all the different countries, and each troop presents, we're Japan, this is what Japan does, would you like to try our cultural food? But they spent weeks preparing this one country, so they really
I still remember mine from second grade.
So
I
that
do
would
too.
give-
Yeah.
But that would give meaning then to it
If they spend like a
too,
week or two.
as
being
opposed to
involved
just
to it.
culture day, have them go to 3 or 4 sessions, and it's just random, and who knows, the kids always look for, I know the kids look forward
Right.
to that day, and
Yeah.
it's always, you guys put so much time and effort into it, and financially support that day. But if we could make it a win-win by having it also be the cultures that are actually represented in our school, and maybe we already are, I don't know. But I said I'd love to look into that and see.
I think that's good feedback.
So
Yeah.
we've talked about this already,
Okay, good.
yeah, in smaller groups, and there are a lot of things that other schools do, and a lot of things that I've researched that other PTAs do around the US. And I think it's a great idea to not have just one day. Some option is like for 1 month, maybe celebrate some part of the Asian culture, and the next month, maybe we can look at things like that. Also working with local companies or families or troops or whatever, I think that's something that people are looking at too and thinking about, is working more local.
Are you on the Culture Day committee?
No.
I'm good, I just have a lot of ideas.
Who would be the parents that I would
Danielle.
like this?
Well, right now it's Danielle and Lisa, but I don't know.
I don't know who's taking over.
I don't know. They've not responded on if they are taking it on next year or not.
I
So,
think whoever
awesome. Okay. Well, anything else
Those were
teacher-wise?
the 2 biggies that I just wanted to share from the
Perfect.
teachers. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just quickly go through committee reports. I don't think we have a whole lot. 6th grade is finalizing the small details. Oh, thank you. of their party. They've also started collecting photos for the graduation slideshow. Book fair, as Paul mentioned, is taking place on the 6th and 7th. I can send you that because I didn't. Okay. So all day on March 6th is a Friday. Schools will be checking it out during class time, and they'll have like the e-wallet thing that they had last year, so that if kids want to purchase anything on their own, that would be available to them. And then 4 to 6 after school, and then book fair March 7th from 8 to noon, coinciding with the pancake breakfast 8 to 10.
And there is a sign up available. I sent it out to all the volunteers, and it's on Facebook as of this morning to sign up for different shifts and breakdown setup. If you can fit it in, great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, box tops, not much to report. Mrs. Flagg's class has won the January contest. Working on a potential plan for how to change box tops next year since the paper ones are phasing out. Kids Care Club, the Heart Connection Collection, it's a mouthful. Personal care item collection drive continues at Jordan Creek until February 13th. Different kind of personal care items like shampoo, conditioner, body wash, so forth, are on that wish list. New this year is the ability to donate through an Amazon wish list. So if you want information on that, we can send it out. Their next meeting is February 19th at 3:30 to take the blankets to the Furry Friends Refuge across the street. Please wear your Pro Friend t-shirt. And if you don't have one of those, any Jordan Creek specific spirit gear. And another point is just making sure that all children attend with a supervising adult. Speaking of Cultural Day, coming up on Friday, April 10th, they are currently working with Cultural All to finalize the list of ambassadors who are available on our date. Once we have the list, they will assign workshops to grade levels, ensuring that the students have not had those workshops before. Also going to be assigning those based on areas of study and variety. They've sent out the initial communication to teachers. We'll be following up after spring break with the detailed schedules. They are coordinating with Mr. Witt to have 6th grade student leaders available to assist, and in the process of collecting bids for a portion of the lunch to be purchased. The rest of the lunch items will be donated by parents or Hy-Vee. And there will be some signups coming out for that. Hospitality is preparing for spring conference meals, which will be held March 5th and March 9th. We'll be getting the sign up to the meals out. I think that came out just this week.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in signing up for one of those, sign up. School supplies, do you want to talk on that?
Yeah, I'll talk about it. As soon as the district list is out at the end of the month, I will be sending it out to all of the teachers and asking for brand requests. So far, I've heard from a couple different teachers, especially about Expo markers instead of the like generic dry erase markers. The generics are not working out. I think we're gonna move forward on doing a little more eco-friendly version. So I've just been collecting like plain brown bags. So anybody that has any of those plain brown grocery bags at home, I will be organizing. It's not a huge cost savings for the school. It's a little bit, but I'll be organizing all of the school supply packs, so that way we don't end up throwing away like bags and bags and bags of plastic and paper because they're wrapped up in such a way. So that way I can also, for teachers who don't want specific supplies, I can just leave them out of those particular those particular packs and go from there. So when we send out information and pricing, that will be after we have the lists. I hear back from the teachers and then I take that to our distributor. Once we hear back from those, we'll make sure that we communicate to the parents that we are going to be doing it in a more eco-friendly fashion so that they don't see like a brown bag sitting there like, what is this?
Brown bag special?
Heidi had mentioned maybe asking Hy-Vee for reusable bags, but my call on that is we ask Hy-Vee for everything all of the time.
Yeah.
So I'm down with not asking for that.
And I think paper, you're using it twice. You're using it to bring your groceries home. You're
Right.
using for the.
And honestly, I was going to have them folded up and collect them and just set them aside, and I can collect them at the end of the night too, so we can keep, like the ones that aren't completely destroyed or whatever, we can use again. So
We might want to just see if Hy-Vee would give us a discount.
a discount on what?
On bags.
but I'm not gonna buy bags for this. Sorry, we have to keep the price down.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, they might be able to, but again, we've asked them for like at least 8 or 9 different things yet this year, so even asking for a discount, I don't know. I've just asked them for Rock the Walk. We asked them for all of the, so. And it's one more thing then that I have to do, and like, it usually takes like 15 minutes.
When you
to
do
get
I'm
done.
just giving the option because I think there are going to be some parents that are not going to care for use paper bags.
When you talk to the teachers, ask them how they set their classrooms up at the beginning of the year. I know like a lot of the teachers have you break the package out, and then like your markers go into this
Right.
big pile. So even if you do have to like sort things out, you might not even need a bag.
No, I
You
might
might just
not.
be able to put like their notebooks and their pencils on the desk, have them put them away. Everything else has been already distributed. So it's something to talk about.
Yeah.
And if you want plastic bags, Hy-Vee was very generous to Kids Care Club. They gave us a whole box of plastic bags.
We're talking about like the reusable.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, these aren't.
Like the
Yeah.
kind you get
These are the
for
plastic ones we
$1.
just sent home for personal care. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
used another box this year, and we've got probably
And
a
why
supply
can't,
that'll last the next 10 years now.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize you meant the reuse ones, gotcha.
and why can't we just give all the supplies to the teacher? Like Mrs.
That's
Card
what I
needs
said, yeah.
6 instead of like, I mean, not even put them on each person's desk.
That's
Just
what I'm
say,
saying,
"Oh,
like,
you
okay,
need 20 packs of Expo pens. You
here
need
are the
20
pens,
packs."
yeah.
Right. I think it would just be the individual supplies, like the pencil boxes and that kind of stuff that have to go on.
On the
individual
desk, that's what I'm
students'
thinking,
And those
like,
can sit on the desk.
yeah.
Anything that goes to the teacher.
Anything that
we
goes
just-
to the teacher, just give her or him a box.
You
and-
have to make sure that the people got,
The correct quantity.
well, yeah, because I've done it before and then it didn't show up.
Yes,
So like I would want to know that what I paid for was there.
that's true.
So
If you just made like a card maybe that said already delivered to teacher, like a
That's a lot of
receipt.
work.
I know, I know. I don't know. I was just thinking.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe we would just have to communicate in the process that as we are moving away from using a bunch of prepackaged stuff, that we will be automatically delivering in bulk
Yeah.
those certain items to teachers, just as long as we communicate that to them.
Okay, looking at social, thanks to everybody that helped volunteer with the family prom. It was a great success. I didn't even see, wasn't it like 300 that we brought in? I didn't even see it, yeah. So after paying DJ and all that kind of stuff, we came out with like a $300 profit, so that was awesome.
and we gave,
Oh yeah, and we tipped the DJ extra.
yeah,
Um,
and we gave 160 of that 300 to the 6th grade.
Oh, I thought that was separate. Oh,
Okay.
okay. Yeah, so 6th grade raised 160 with their concession sales.
To be your party.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Next up, we have the pancake breakfast with Chris's Cakes, which is, like I said, happening with the book fair, March 7th from 8 to 10. We currently have 2 Silver Cord volunteers to help with that. Depending on how much we get with that, we might need some more parent volunteers, but we might be covered, so I'll keep everybody posted. We are doing the operating room on March 9th for a game night. 50% of all of the gaming purchases go back to Jordan Creek PFC. While we appreciate those kind of kickbacks that happen with our social events, we do just want to call out that like we're not using that as a fundraiser. That's truly just intended as like a social event. And we do realize that that is also the same night as one of our conference days. So it's kind of just like a pop in and pop out if you guys can. Some kids might need to de-stress after leading a conference. So head on out.
Like it to think they're going over to celebrate.
Or celebrate,
There
whatever,
you
yeah.
Find the
What you
positive.
just found out and shared with parents. So
Exactly.
Take them over to celebrate. So that'll be my
Your
phrase
spin
for
on
everyone.
it?
Celebrate the
Yeah.
celebrating room. Wow.
Outside of that, your book is going great. They have parents taking time out of their schedules and taking pictures at class events. They'll be taking Valentine's party pictures next week. And then Rock the Walk. I know you're not Jason, but I didn't know if you had anything to add.
Well, we have a couple donations.
Yep, we're still in the process. I would love some help in soliciting donations because I'm literally the only one that has been doing it. Like some of the
No,
executive committee's been helping.
you've been
too,
doing the
but-
majority of it, yeah.
So, but there was some pushback from people that felt they did not have to help, so. I have secured 2 of the 4 corners so far with, I have to make a call back to Yoga 6, so I'm pretty confident I will be able to convince them to get a 3rd corner, because they had mentioned bringing a booth or whatever, so I'm like, so hopefully I can secure all of the corners in time for the t-shirts, and this year maybe the t-shirts can have the name of the sponsor on the corner. We're checking it off, so kids know, and then people are it's gonna be a lot easier to keep those corner sponsors, because they know that they're gonna be promoted on the back of the shirt.
Is that the same Yoga 6? Is that the lady that came for the carnival?
I don't know, did
They
somebody
had
come
a,
to the carnival?
yeah, that may have been her.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. She was brand new and like she brought a booth and like handed out candy and stuff, like free of charge.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was talking about bringing a booth of some kind, so I'm sure if they just had somebody out there going through a couple of stretches or poses with kids, like,
Yeah.
that would be awesome. Farrell's is doing a corner, so they'll have kickboxing, and then the athletic club is they're gonna have like a sign up and do a rotation of group fitness instructors or trainers to do like little things there, so just have to
Great.
get one more.
Yeah.
The kids loved all of that stuff last year.
Yeah, for sure, and I just want to make sure that we're doing it in such a way that it encourages these businesses to do it again, so that way it doesn't
It's not
feel
a
like we're
chore
starting
every year.
from scratch every single year. I'm gonna follow up with some more businesses to get donations, but hopefully we will get some more from the school community as
I'd
well.
like the healthy snacks and.
We do have-
Has that always been a donation or? is
Yeah,
that-
Hy-Vee is gonna be donating fruit again this year, and then the water, I believe, we just had jugs of water.
No, it was the
It was,
West Des Moines Water Works thing.
They set up like
Like they actually
Like a
made it
hose.
for
Yeah, it was weird.
Rock the Walk.
Oh, very cool.
Didn't somebody
Yeah.
say that they were gonna give us water, bottled water?
Casey said they were gonna give us bottled water, but I was trying to stay away from bottled water because
Yeah,
it's
so
just
this
gonna
is
be
like a
mess.
thing that they hook up, and I think Jason said that as long as, like, he gives a check up front as like a,
Collateral, like a
yeah,
security
like, so if
deposit.
something happens to it, then, but as long as he returns the thing, no issues, then
Tiggis
it's,
was suggesting we make the list of all the sponsors and have students write thank you notes to them.
That's
Usually
awesome.
the PFC does it, but I like the idea of
Yeah, I
it should
think-
come
We always
from.
have someone take a lot of pictures that we put on the
Yeah.
Facebook page, but we could share pictures with these businesses. to
That would be great,
Hopefully
too.
encourage them to continue, because that's
Yes.
a very generous partnership on their part to do a lot of this.
yeah.
For sure. Yeah,
I
I
like
think that would
that.
be great. So I'm gonna try to secure at least, well, the other 2 corners and as many donations as we can.
Thank you for all
my-
your effort.
yeah,
in doing
thanks.
this. It's a lot of work.
I guess my suggestion for next year would be to consider setting up a fundraising committee, because all of these events like have fundraising portions that could line up. Like I've gotten donations for Carnival for next year in lieu of them being able to sponsor things. So it might be easier, instead of having Rock the Walk, Jason, because right now it's listed as just Jason trying to do all of this fundraising and everything, have a fundraising committee that is primarily focused on.
Well, and then we're not double dipping too.
That's
Right.
That's the
another-
thing that, you know, well, you're
and
coming
the-
to us
yeah,
again.
the messaging is on point, and the.
Right, and then it can be a little bit more efficient, because when we're soliciting donations for Rock the Walk, we can pivot into Carnival, and when we get good for Carnival, we can always like mention and bring up and like write the thank you notes and then make sure that they're
Here's
aware.
our next event.
Yes,
You added that
exactly.
to the volunteer list though, didn't you? A philanthropy person?
We asked for volunteers at the beginning of the year and nobody responded.
Okay.
So
I don't think
Keep it
it
on
would be
there for next year.
philanthropy,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Well, it's fundraising.
it was
Oh, yeah.
fundraising, yeah, but the idea of this was what we had hoped for, but we got no response. So
Gotcha, okay.
it's something.
Yeah,
that-
it's just getting to the point where it's just like, it's a lot, and a lot of people are really interested in doing the things that directly help the kids and like spending the money, but we seem to be getting a lot of pushback from people like not being interested in helping raise the money. It's a little bit of a thankless job, but like, we need to get more people in here.
Yeah.
Especially like the people who are on committees that have a large portion of our budget, they need to understand like what goes into this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
sure. I'm not trying,
No, I know.
I'll be having hip surgery again next year, so I'll have plenty of time to draft more letters and make phone calls and whatnot. apparently I have 2 hips and they
And it
both
is a
suck.
job, like I did all of the carnival fundraising
I can't
at
even
nights, you know,
Yeah.
after the kids went to bed. So it's really a job you can do outside of the 9 to 5. You don't have to be here if
Right,
you have
Yeah.
another job.
exactly.
And if you had like a big list,
Well, and it would be
You know,
really
you could just-
beneficial if people would be able to step up and say, I have personal connections with this business, let me take on this one. So it might not be a bad idea, like perhaps in the November or December meeting, or actually really at the beginning of the year, because then there are a lot of people here. Say, here's the list of potential sponsors that we would like to get for Rock the Walk. Who knows somebody? Because when I did fundraising for Fort Dodge, we did a program for our musical. We sat down in class one day and we were like, who knows somebody from this business? And they would be responsible for that. And it was like many hands make light work. Because if everybody knew like 2 contacts or whatever, then it wouldn't be me calling 50 businesses, it would be everybody calling 2.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be great to have some of this shared out when we have like our kindergarten story time. We do kindergarten roundup, and then the next week we do story time where the kids come in and go to the classrooms, but then we visit with the parents.
Mhm.
We always try to have, I think.
We do, and we do have a
president
presence at kindergarten, not
Roundup,
Roundup.
yeah.
Is it Roundup? Not the story time.
I think you guys have shared at Roundup.
At Roundup. The problem I find is that we're targeting, so I spoke at Back to School Night and Kindergarten Roundup, I think you spoke. And we're targeting new parents, but they don't make up the core, not that we're not welcoming to them, but they don't make up the core of the school. I mean, you have people mostly from 2nd to 6th grade who have been there their whole lives. These are the parents I'd like to see get a little more involved as well. I'm always welcoming new parents, but you
But
guys.
if we do it every year at kindergarten, we're gonna catch them as they come through.
You
And a lot of
are.
People do have kindergartners.
I guess
who have second
I'm
graders.
saying like we're playing catch up at this point, so maybe for the next 2 years or so, like, I don't know how you would find a way to get all those parents in one spot and talk to them, but that would be something for next year I would suggest, but
Yeah.
no.
Back to school night, all of the 6th grade parents all sat together in the library, and
Yeah.
all the 5th grade parents sat together in the
Yeah,
library. I mean, you can catch them then,
yeah.
if you want to get the older ones.
Yeah. No, I like all these ideas.
That we're gonna
Yeah.
read at all
Yeah.
of these events, and then
And go from there.
give our plea.
Well, speaking of getting more people, that leads into our next few items. So for new business, as Paul mentioned, we had sent out the PFC survey a few weeks ago to get feedback on a few different items. The overwhelming result for meeting time was to move that to evenings, so effective immediately. The rest of our meetings this year will be taking place same days, but at 6:30 in the media center. And we will look at what that looks like for next year, but we hope that this
It'll
is
be on Thursdays.
for this year.
Okay.
Yeah. But looking at, next year, it would be something to take into consideration. But we are hoping that this is a win for the majority of the families at Jordan Creek that have expressed interest. One of the things that came back on that survey is that we do have, out of like the 100 responses we got, 70% say that they want to volunteer. I think it was like 30% said like they don't always know how to volunteer though. So that, it wasn't like super high, but I think it's higher than what I would probably expect with as much as I feel like we're communicating. So that's definitely something that we can look into. So I'll be sending the dates out and times out for those meetings. And then we have the nominating committee headed by Jen for nominations for next year.
So we've identified candidates for every role except for secretary for next year because you are not interested, correct?
I can't.
Okay.
Nope.
So for president, Lauren is going to go up for election. Heidi is going to step back and run for vice president. Treasurer Molly Lukenbill would like to run for it, and then secretary, as we said, is vacant.
There is a person that was interested in potentially she was at the last meeting, every role except for president.
Oh, Andrea, yes.
Yes,
We-
contact her.
Yes, we have. So
Oh, she
we're.
doesn't want to do something?
We don't.
Oh,
Yeah, so, but,
She's interested, she's just trying to decide which position she wants to apply for.
okay.
Yeah.
So will there not
So-
be co-presidents, just one? You'll just-
Well, this is what the nominating committee is putting up as,
Yes.
but anybody can run.
Yeah.
So like if somebody has an interest in being president, all they have to do is come forward and then we would vote.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then the voting takes place in April, correct?
Yes, so
And takes over in May?
May. Yep.
Okay.
Jen, you didn't want us to Skype you in? and-
I mean, we could, you know, why not? Yeah, like, I'll
Where
just,
is it that your family's moving to?
we're going to Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Skype you in every month. What's going on?
Yeah, why not?
So that leads into our annual meeting. Our annual meeting is April. And so that is where we will be voting on executive committee for next year. We will also be voting on the proposed budget for next year. We will be presenting that proposal at next month's meeting in March. And then we would have the month-long time to sit with it, review it, and then vote in April. And then also voting on bylaws, which were sent out last month. So any updates to bylaws would need to be presented to us by end of this week to then be considered for presentation at March's meeting. So everything will be presented at March and voted on in April. My question was about what you mentioned from last month's meeting, because I wasn't here for that,
Oh.
about the WIG goal. Does she need volunteers for that? The big party at the end of the year?
She might, I don't feel like they have it flushed out completely yet, is that correct? No. So, once they flush that out and have a plan in place, she may then need parents to plug in, and maybe you can, I'm sure she knows.
Do we have
but
a date flushed, or not even a date yet?
I believe it's secret right now.
Okay.
So that's the other thing too, like, don't tell the kids about it.
Yeah, I knew that
Okay,
part, but I
okay.
was thinking more of just like, I know like in years past when we've done like the movie day.
Yeah.
And then we didn't like, that was some of the thing, like the parents were like, oh, like, had I known ahead of time.
Yeah, and I think
So-
that was brought up at the last meeting. They just need a little more time to
Yeah,
like
no, that's
iron
fine.
things out and then see where they can plug people into.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's all I have. Anybody else
you.
have anything?
oh, you know, give me that back.
One question I have with the PSC meeting being the 12th next month, do you think, since that's the evening
I know.
we get out for spring break that day, do you think?
I know, Rebecca and I were talking about that.
Are we leaving for spring break or getting ready to leave? Will that deter attendance?
Rebecca and I were talking about that right before the meeting, and I was like, I guess I could see it going either way. Like, there's some parents that don't go anywhere.
Would it be less than what's?
I know.
I know.
I don't-
I know.
Right
I don't
now,
think
yeah.
so.
But if our goal is hopefully to rise attendance, that's my only thought, that's just in my calendar next year, that's the day that.
Well, in years past, they haven't even done a March meeting.
That's true.
So the fact that we're even doing a March meeting is new, because we felt like it was important to keep in touch, but also it was then you're presenting everything in February and then voting on it in April, and it's like that's so far in between.
And I agree, Sarah, I mean, it's a small group. So you're right, we know that, so.
Yeah.
We'll see. But if attendance isn't as high as what you hope, so keep that as a factor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can recruit.
We hope. But, okay, well, thanks. Anything else? All right, meeting adjourned.